More CEOs who have been involved in Donald Trump's manufacturing council have decided to resign from that council following his refusal to denounce white supremacy in America. Later on, he did denounce white supremacy, and then he took it back during a press conference that occurred today where he said, yeah, there's violence on both sides. Now, the first CEO to pull out of this council was the CEO of Merck & Co., CEO Ken Frazier. The only African-American on the council was first to step down to, quote, take a stand against intolerance and extremism. The move drew an immediate rebuke from Trump, who claimed on Twitter that the pharmaceuticals chief would now have more time to lower rip-off drug prices. How about you, Trump? How about you do something about drug prices? You claimed you were gonna do something about it, but you haven't done anything at all. In fact, you've been working closely with pharmaceutical companies and giving them a pass. So it's your responsibility to do something in regard to policy to actually hone pharmaceutical companies in. Anyway, let me give you his exact tweet. He said, now that Ken Frazier and Merck Pharma has resigned from President's Manufacturing Council, he will have more time to lower rip-off drug prices. In
all caps. Look, guys, this is super important. This is part of the Charlottesville story and part of the second strike against Donald Trump. This is monumental because once he loses those people in power, he's got very little left. And what did I tell you? He's too stupid to know what to do and what not to do. If you yell at a guy who just left the manufacturing council, who is the CEO of Merck, that's gonna send a message to all other business people, don't do business with Trump. Because if you do, if there's even a slight disagreement, he's gonna try to go after you. It is a monumentally bad idea if you're trying to get allies, but he's too stupid to know the difference. And so once he did that, just as I suspected, boom, out goes two more people. He criticized them and out goes the fourth. So Anna's gonna tell you about that.
All right, so the second CEO to resign was Kevin Plank. He is the CEO of Under Armour. He quit the group to focus my efforts on inspiring every person that they can do anything through the power of sport, which promotes unity, diversity, and inclusion. Nice little plug for your business, but
that's
whatever.
Okay, he's the CEO. Kevin Plank previously had gotten criticism for supporting Trump too much.
Right.
And even he bailed out. But the reason they're bailing out is not necessarily because of Charlottesville, although that's really bad. That's the reason that Ken Frazier left in the first place. But the other guys are mainly leaving because of how Trump treated Ken Frazier. Because they got the memo that if you stay with this guy, he's gonna knife you at some point. So they're like, no, this guy's a madman, we're out.
The CEO of Intel also pulled out. He resigned to, quote, call attention to the serious harm our divided political climate is causing to critical issues. I resigned because I want to make progress. While many in Washington seem more concerned with attacking anyone who disagrees with them, we should honor, not attack, those who have stood up for equality and other cherished American values.
So that's the most important quote, because that's the Intel CEO going, you're gonna attack people who don't agree with you. So we were here to support you on this council. And then when Ken leaves, now you're viciously attacking him in public. No, that's not how we roll.
And he does it with lawmakers. He's doing it with CEOs who have decided to resign. I mean, that's his strategy. Anyone who disagrees with him will be bullied on social media. And he thinks that's a winning strategy. No, you're turning allies into enemies, which is great, right? For us, it's great.
It is. No, that's that. So I'm not saying that these CEOs are good guys in everything they do. This is the right decision to make, and I applaud them for making it. But I'm not telling you that they're even doing it for the right reasons. What I'm telling you is, the one thing that the powerful do not like is when the powerful are touched. So if it's higher drug prices and you have to pay it, not such a big problem, right? When you invade a country and a bunch of people die over there, not such a big problem. You insulted my friend? No, we're not gonna have that. Not only did you insult my friend, but that implies that you're gonna come after me next. It's a terrible strategic mistake by Donald Trump, thank God. That noise you hear is the noise of power leaving the building. And if you don't have that kind of power behind you and you're a Republican, what do you have? Not much. All you have left is those guys in Charlottesville, and you ain't gonna win elections with that. He's in a world of trouble. If you like this video, you'll love the whole TYT network. Check it out at tytnetwork.com/join.